Hi guys. The market just caught like a serious updraft off the lows. As you can see here, plus plus 10 handle, more than 10 handles off the lows, plus more than plus like 12 handles, right? So 1918 to 1930 and a quarter, right? And I immediately got like just inundated with like Twitter messages and a couple of text messages and emails like what the hell's going on, because the market was really flying, right? And usually when I see something like this, I too am like, uh-oh, somebody just said something just happened, like what's going on when you see these big kind of candles like this, especially kind of, it's 1140 and this started, the rally started at 1105, right? So when you see this in a short time frame like this, my immediate reaction is somebody just said something just happened. In this case, something good just happened. Maybe the Fed came out and said they're going to keep rates the same. Something in that family. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which side of the market you're on at the moment, it's none of those things, right? And what it really is just another example of how price levels really have an extraordinary impact on the markets, and the only reason they have those impacts is because people are waiting right there and think those levels mean something for one reason or another. So without further ado, let me show you exactly why the market took off to the upside. If I go to the daily, right, and you should be able to immediately see what happened, right? We came flying down here this morning, right? And when I came in this morning, I saw that we were up just a little, and I was like, that doesn't look good in light of what this bar looked like yesterday, right? And in the recap last night, I talked about how we kind of rallied back to these moving averages, and here was the real test. And had we been able to get through up here, that could have meant something. But in all likelihood, especially given the fact that we broke the low here, right, and went down so hard and broke the low of this really big up day right here, that was not a good thing, especially in light of where it happened, right? So we came in this morning and we were up a little bit, right? So it looked like we were going to rebound some, but we hadn't even eclipsed half of this bar, right? We topped out right here, right? And that is actually, we couldn't even get back there on this move up that I was talking about a second ago. And this is the daily chart, by the way, and the chart that we were looking at before was the 5-minute chart. So as you can see, we then turned around and headed lower, right? And let me go back and show you exactly what the price action looked like. So this is how we came in this morning, right? This is 6 a.m., right? Up, right? We topped out here. That's 1934, right? And we drifted back, tried to get going again in the early part of the morning, then started to fall apart, down, zigzag, up, down hard, right? And then we got this real hard push up, and that's the one that I was talking about. Well, it's all about, right, this previous low right here. We hit this low, right, which was or is 1945 and 3/4. The low on the day is, that's not right, sorry, the low 1918 and a quarter. The low on the day 1918, right? So we broke that by a nick, i.e. a tick, and then we took off to the upside, right? And that all that was market players testing the resolve of this downtrend, testing the resolve of the sellers, both the short sellers and the sellers of who were actually long, right? Testing to see if they really mean it, right? That's all they did. And all they had to do right here was step in and buy it fairly big, which they did, and it kind of caused people to start short covering and panicking a little bit, and that's why you got that updraft, right? That I was talking about right here, right? Literally, right? Just flew higher, right? And then proceeded to, now we're rolling back over. And the question is whether or not we're going to keep rolling and head back down into this area, or whether this is just a pullback and we're going to go a bit higher, and maybe even, push through yesterday's high. Who knows, right? But my guess is we roll back over, right? I think that updraft was really a function, again, of testing. We tested this low, right? And the market players wanted to see if folks really meant it. They stepped in and bought it. And by the way, they made plenty of money, right? Because they flipped out and got out, and they're probably getting short at this point. But they achieved what they set out to achieve, i.e. they tested the resolve of the downtrend, right? And now the real test is taking place. Do we head lower, right? Or do we, kind of pull back here and then push back on and head up further, right? Or do we just kind of, tread water and go sideways for the rest of the day? I have no idea, right? And say what you will, neither do you. Neither does anyone else who might be telling you that they know exactly what's going to happen. Again, my guess is that we come back down this way, but remains to be seen, right? That's going to do it. I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick. It actually looked better when I first thought about doing it, because we were up here and this bar hadn't happened yet, right? So it was like, wow, that thing really took off. Now what's going to happen? But by the time I got set up to even record this thing, we had a 5-minute down bar like that, right? But the lesson is still the same, right? Price levels are important. Pay attention to them, and they can certainly give you some guidance, not just the price levels, but how people respond to them when they're hit. Okay, that's going to do it. I hope this has been useful, and that you get something out of, and more importantly, that you're able to profit from what you learn here. Okay, we'll talk to you later.